And thank you for tuning in to KYCA News Talk Radio 103.5 and 1490 AM. This is Leza LaChapelle Dandos coming at you. Wait, no, it's not.
Dude, you have aged
No, it's
drastically.
What happened to the hair?
And
what happened to the hair? That's my question.
And evidently I took up smoking.
That trip didn't do you any good.
This is Matt Santos, not Leza Live. Leza Live is out globe-trotting the globe, and I am here with my friend Matt Hinshaw. Matt?
Oh, you admit that I'm here. All right, that's good.
You know,
He admitted to your friend. That's
Even bigger.
even more shocking.
You're right.
That's not so much an admission as an accusation, I think. And the other voice on the microphone, Barry Barb. How are you, Barry?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. You're here more than Leza, I think, pretty
Well,
much.
lately it feels like it. I know. I want that life.
I want
that
any
life.
life.
What?
actually.
Only working 1 hour a day?
You quit that.
And Drew in the booth is dying to come on the. What do you got, Drew?
Oh.
Kick her on. Let's hear from Leza.
I miss her so much.
Leza, are you there?
Ciao bellos.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, evidently you're talking to the restaurateur. Then
Yeah.
I don't speak French.
That's not French.
What was that? How are you, Leza?
I'm good. I'm sitting at a cafe. It is 5 o'clock here.
5 o'clock
in the
p.m.
evening.
or
5
oh,
o'clock
okay.
Your day.
I thought maybe you were wrapping up the night and it was 5 a.m.
No, I'm on top of the Spanish Steps in Roma, Italia,
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
enjoying a limoncello spritz. If you've ever had one, you know, and if
Nice.
you've never had one, you need to have one.
I am akin to your world traveling. I know exactly what you're going through because I went to Paulden yesterday, and it was a fabulous trip.
He went to Paulden. Is Matt there? Matt Hinshaw?
He sure is.
Of course.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi,
Drew.
Leza.
Hi, Matt Santos. I miss you guys.
I miss you too. I don't know like when you're gonna make it back and how you're gonna make it back, and I'm just lost here with all these hosts. It's terrible.
Well, you sound fantastic, and I'll be back on Monday. So I couldn't let the entire trip go by without calling in.
So wait
But
till
I
the
tell
next
you
and
what,
last
it has
day.
been a whirlwind.
I think
Whirlwind, not a whirlwind, a whirlwind.
it sounds a lot like you're in Mesa. I don't buy this whole international traveling.
She's on the golf course. Antelope North. That's where
Well,
she
I
is.
don't want to take up your time, Santos, but I just wanted to call in and tell you all hello, and I miss you, and we are catching a flight early morning, and like I said, I'll be back on Monday. I can't wait to hear about everything I missed.
Oh no,
Oh, yes.
you're in for a surprise.
Safe travels.
Okay,
Thanks for calling in, Leza.
Thanks, Leza.
Great to hear from you. Thanks for sending that over, Drew. Drew, before we cut, get quick weather report from Drew.
You got a window? Open it. No.
No, we are professional broadcasters.
We're
Contrary to what you're hearing.
We're going to have a beautiful day, kind of carbon copy of what we had yesterday. We're going to have a high of 66. The low is going to be about 36. We'll have some light winds, but it's going to be mostly clear with light winds tonight. Tomorrow will be pretty much the same, but Saturday we're going to be in the 50s. So It's going to get cold, and our lows are going to be in the 20s. So make sure you got all your pipes wrapped and you got everything going good. So otherwise, you might have some freeze.
Too cold for me, and then that wind just does a number on my hair. Dude,
Oh, yeah.
So I
have the same
can't
problem,
take
as
care
you
of it.
know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the update, Drew.
You're welcome.
Barry,
What?
thanks for coming in. You brought snacks.
I brought leftover Halloween candy.
This is.
Isn't
I
that
just
what everyone's
want the
eating today?
basket. I want the basket.
See, the shameful thing is we had these massive bags of candy in our office for like 2 weeks, and we all did really good until like the week before Halloween, and somebody opened one of the bags. Oy vey. So there's some candy for you.
Hinshaw had a basket very similar at his house, but it had the little airline bottles of booze. In it. And then he locked his doors and closed his curtains.
Yeah, the parents really frown on me leaving it unattended in my neighborhood.
Yeah. You're so much trouble, Hinshaw. Also in studio, we have hiding in the corner, so you might have him on video. He's not going to speak. He already told us he will not speak, is Stephen Stephen, I always butcher your last name, and I've known you for years. Lee, help me.
Kartstein.
Kartstein. Don't whisper. This is radio.
Kartstein.
Kartstein. I'm sorry. I want to put an extra letter or take a couple letters away. Stephen is known by many folks from his years at the Elks Theater and especially the Crystal Ballroom. I always butcher it. Liz is listening right now, yelling at her radio because I mess it up. And he is here, accompanying our other two guests. Janet, please introduce yourself. Let folks know who you are.
My name is Janet Hopkins, and I've lived in Prescott since 1986.
Oh, my goodness. You're almost a native.
Almost.
So you moved here when you were 14.
Right.
Okay, good. 86, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now you've seen some changes in this area.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get into a little bit of your history and why you're here in just a moment. But sitting next to you, Lee, introduce yourself.
Lee Reeves, and I'm a newbie. I've only been here 15 years, but I'm feeling like I belong here finally.
15 years, but you have ingratiated yourself, moved yourself into especially the art scene here, which we're going to talk about. And it really ties in with Barry. That's really, I'm really glad Barry was able to join us today, because this is your regular slot with Matt and Leza on Fridays. But in addition to your role in the community, you're so involved in the community with so many different projects, specifically your restaurants. Let's plug them right off the top.
Oh, yeah, well, you got El Gato Azul. Hey, 20 years next month.
Oh, nice.
20
nice.
years.
Wow.
20 years. And then Torme, which is 3 years.
Well, that's such a beautiful place. That
Yeah, I
patio
love
there
it.
at Torme is great.
Yeah.
In addition to the art you create in the kitchen and on the plate, you are also the author
Where are you going with this?
the Prescott Palette.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah.
Your column, which runs in local print media, we can say who it is, right?
Every
Yeah,
Thursday.
You can. I don't.
Thursday.
but you can.
Matt and I have a little history with the Courier,
Just a little bit.
but your column there that you put out really highlights not. A lot of different aspects of the local arts and entertainment scene.
It's going behind Prescott's culinary, visual, and performing arts, and everything else in between. So
Yeah.
pretty much everything. And it's Thursdays in the across the street section of the Courier.
highlighting really the movers and shakers in the arts scene in this area. And that's why I really wanted you in here, so you can hear about this program that is an offshoot, a sister program of AZ Wordsmith. Lee, the AZ Wordsmith, I've had an opportunity to be part of and to observe some of the projects you guys work on with your monthly open mic reading workshop that you do at the Elks. Give the folks, both you guys, Janet and Lee both, talk a little bit about what the AZ Wordsmith is and how it got started.
Well, I live in St. Petersburg, Florida, half the year.
Oh.
And they have a vibrant literary community there. And it was so impressive that when I came back to Prescott after 6 months, I thought, we need some stuff like this. So I was involved with the Central Arizona Writers, and I met Sue Favia, and she was very interested in helping me start with an open mic. And she had a friend named Lee Reeves, who she said, I'm sure she'll be interested. So the three of us together started the open mic, which was the first program, although I have grand ambitions about adding more.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
So I jumped on it because there's a lot of great writers around here.
Yes.
And there's nothing quite like hearing what you've been sitting alone, laboring over for days, weeks, maybe years, and reading it out loud to an audience. And so that's what we do. We invite people to put their name in a basket. We draw names. We let them read for 10 minutes. And there's an amazing variety of, and we're strictly prose because there's a lot of poetry open mics. So
Yes.
people read their stories.
And that's what I was going to mention. So there's some memoirs, some nonfiction. There's a lot of fiction. There's a really good mix, but no poetry. And that's stated in your. It's what Wednesday is it?
It's the second Wednesday of every month, and we have nothing against poetry.
No,
We love poetry.
We just didn't want to horn in on somebody
Wait a
else's
minute.
space.
Well, no, but because as you mentioned,
I mean,
there's other outlets for that.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this is a chance for writers to sit there and read. Now, how long have you been doing that?
2019.
2009. So right around the time you started, I saw a post on AZ Wordsmith on Facebook. It's a very active page there. You promote your events and the writers very well on there. And I saw a post right around there. I think it might have been your second or third monthly show you did. And like everything else I do in my life, I didn't pay attention. And I didn't really look at it that it was reading. So I showed up and dropped my name in the basket, and about 3 or 4 in, I realized everybody was reading, and then I read the post again and said to read your story. So I immediately started typing on my phone. And that's what and then I got pulled for that night.
And you told
And-
the funniest story I've ever heard.
I was not prepared because one that requires work to type things on my phone, little phone, big fingers, and I was not. I tend to kind of talk off the top of my head, and it was so I had to immediately start typing really fast.
Did you pretend then that you were reading?
No, I
You
typed it
actually
out.
typed
Yeah,
it and
I typed
read
it
it?
out and read it. And it was. I think. Well, I was at the. I think that was burying my dog.
Yes,
it was the
Was
bear-
it my favorite
It
story?
It
was.
was the dog
Yeah.
story. Yes.
I
Yeah.
always
And then-
call it burying a body in Paulden.
Burying a body in Paulden is. Yeah.
Can you read?
A lot of pictures.
A lot of pictures. A lot of pictures. Okay.
Photographers, we
What's
can't
that?
read.
What's that old joke? I finished 3 books this weekend. It would have been a 4th, but I ran out of crayons. So that AZ Wordsmith has developed into a really nice following, highlighting local authors. Now you've got one coming up.
We do.
When is the next one?
The second Wednesday of every month.
So is that the 9th?
And you've got. Let me pull it up here. AZ Word. See, I can't type very well. Word.
So it's the second Wednesday in November. And somebody must know what day that is.
I've got it right here. I've got it right here.
I think it's 9.
Yeah.
The
11th.
It's 11th.
the
Oh, I was
11th,
close.
Drew knows everything.
We are brilliant. Okay.
Nope. 13th.
What?
What?
I looked at the wrong month. It is the
November.
13th.
Oh my
Sorry,
God!
that
Drew
was
doesn't know
December.
everything.
The
Never
reason it
mind.
caught my eye is, and I'm going to butcher his name, Clay. What's Clay's last
Clay
name?
Hurtubise.
Hurtubise is
Hurtubise.
going to be the featured reader because you have the opportunity for people to come in, drop their name in the basket, and be pulled. But then you have a set featured author to read, and I've heard some of Clay's stories at another event
At
recently.
another event called Stories That Matter.
Before we get into there, again, the AZ Wordsmith, November 13th at the Elks Theater upstairs on the third floor in the Sundance Room. You ask for a suggested donation of $5
Yes.
to help to help you put
Cover
on these events,
expenses.
cover expenses. But key here, you do not have to be a writer or to present your story to be there.
No.
It's a great opportunity for folks in the audience to, one, hear some great stories, listen to some of our local authors, and get a real feel for maybe dipping their toe in that writing world at a later date if they want to.
Exactly.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better.
Yep.
And then that branched off into Stories That Matter that kind of came out of Stephen's head and your head,
Right.
Lee.
It
What's
started
the
for
process
me.
there?
It was born years ago when I was driving in my car and stumbled across a story station called the Moth Radio
Yes.
Hour, which you know about. And I was going to a party and I pulled into the driveway and I could not get out of the car because I was addicted to the story that was being told and I couldn't leave. And from then on, I have been loved that program and stories, hearing them, and I always wanted to do it here.
Yeah. And the key, the kind of the hook for the Moth and for Stories That Matter is true stories told from the speaker's point of view. And this is kind of again, can be a little intimidating for some, but for some it's very refreshing. Told live, without notes, true stories in front of a live audience.
Without notes, without props.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Now, those are done on about a quarterly basis every few months.
Every other month, except we have a break in January.
A little break, and then the next one is big.
March.
No. We have one coming up in November.
And that's the
November
anniversary show.
29th is our anniversary. Will have been going a whole year. Can I say the name of it on air?
I don't know.
What?
It is, well, the
You can.
The theme of the show, there's a theme given. The last one a couple months ago was schooled.
Being schooled.
Being
a time
schooled.
I was schooled.
So that could have been a learning experience. It could have been a story tied into your school days. It could have been anything that's loosely tied to the theme. The upcoming theme, let's bypass it. It is a talking about. Well, the theme is
It's
on a
Bad and brilliant.
bad and brilliant.
Except bad is
These three
Is that the
folks-
theme?
No, these three folks
What's-
in front of you are tossing around profanity on their posters as well.
Oh, is that what it is?
Bad butt.
Oh, okay.
Bad
Oh.
butt. I'm just not sure what we
Yeah,
can say on
no.
radio.
I got in trouble for saying the
Yeah.
A1.
You,
Yeah.
can, you can see it on our Facebook page.
You can look.
and we're only calling it
Color.
that because we're bringing back mostly storytellers, which includes you, Matt,
Uh-oh.
from that have told stories during the year. It's the day after Thanksgiving, so if you're hanging around the house, it's a perfect evening. You will get your fill. You'll fill your stomach the day before, and then that day you will fill your brain and your emotions and your heart with stories.
And this is a real special night because typically these shows are presented on a Sunday afternoon.
Correct.
This is the anniversary show. It'll be on a Friday night at the Crystal Ball.
Crystal Ballroom.
Why can't I get that right? Crystal Ballroom at the Elks. Upstairs on the third floor. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. I want to hear some of the stories that you've heard with A.Z. Wordsmith and Stories That Matter that really have stuck in your mind and heart. And then, Barry, we want to talk more about the Prescott Palette and how some of the surprises maybe that you've ran across over the time that you've been doing that and some of the real memorable characters.
I want to go to their event.
We want
That
you
sounds
there.
awesome.
And we want to
Sounds
hear a
awesome.
story from Barry.
No, I just want to hear other people's stories. That sounds awesome. I love that idea.
And these are everyday people. So I'm going to tell you one story.
We are going to be right back to hear about those after this break on KYCA News Talk Radio. We are back on KYCA, the News Talk Radio, 103 FM, 103.5 FM, excuse me. You can't forget the .5. That's very important. And 1490 AM. My name is Matt Santos. I am sitting in on behalf of Leza LaChapelle-Dandos, who is globetrotting, and I think she's just drinking right now, is what she told us. Before we go back to the show, Drew, weather update. How's it changed since 8 minutes ago?
No, it hasn't.
Okay, just checking. Thank you.
Thanks for checking.
Hey, before we go any further, I have to plug a show that's coming up because I forgot to do it last time I was sitting in this chair. We have a comedy show coming up to the Prescott Valley Performing Arts Center, which is the Main Street Theater. If you're not sure where it is, Main Street in Prescott Valley, it is adjacent to the Findlay Toyota Center. And it is November 8th, next Friday at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30. Tickets are available at, I should probably look this up.
Yeah, you probably should.
Here.
Did you mention that it's right after Joe
Coy's
Coy's
yeah.
show?
Yeah, real good timing there. pvperformingarts.org is the website, but we have 2 tickets to give away to a caller right now. So write this down if you don't have it already saved in 928-541-1016. 928-541-1016. If you can call in and accurately tell us what color M&M Barry is eating right now, you can win 2 tickets to see Ron Morey, a nationally touring comic based out of the Phoenix area, and also my good friend Brian Kahatsu and myself. I'll be hosting that show November 8th at 7 p.m. at the Prescott Valley Performing Arts Center. We got nobody called in yet? Nobody, not yet. Dial your phone, folks. 541-1016. Got 2 tickets for you.
And I'll be there sitting in the back, and I'm sure you'll make fun of me at least 5 minutes of your set.
I'm eating a blue one.
Well, free tickets are $20. So you're basically winning $40 if you call in now and say blue. Green. Now it's green.
Now I'm green.
Now it's green. That's going to be a great show, though. Ron Morey is a hilarious comic. He's got a ton of credits. He's just got done doing the casino out in Parker, him and Brian both. So they'll be swinging through the Prescott and Prescott Valley area next week. It's going to be a good time. Also want to plug another show November 14th at Cliff Castle Casino. Frequent guest to this show and friend of mine, J.C. Anderson, will be there with Robert Mack at the Cliff Castle Casino Dragonfly Lounge, 7 p.m. on the 14th. And then they're taking that same lineup to the Mary D. Fisher Theater in Sedona, which is a great spot for live entertainment. And I'll be on, I think, one or maybe both of those shows. I'm not sure. It depends if we give away these tickets, because if we give away these tickets, then JC will know I'm promoting correctly, and then he'll allow me on the other shows.
You get paid more?
No.
Oh.
No, none whatsoever.
He doesn't get paid at all.
I get paid. I get paid in M&Ms.
There you go.
Blue or green?
But what are you on now?
Cleveland Browns.
No, Cleveland Browns.
Gotta be orange and a brown one.
So call in, Drew. Let us know if we get a call in coming for the free tickets to November 8th at the Prescott Valley Performing Arts. pvperformingarts.org is the website. But give us a call, 928-541-1016. Lee, tell us about, on this Storyteller show, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary. That'll be November 29th at the Elks Crystal Ballroom. Did I get
Ballroom.
it?
Ballroom. It's Crystal Ballroom.
No, is it? Steve Holler.
Oh,
Crystal
Hall. Hall.
It
I'm
used to be
sorry.
ballroom.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I corrected you like 5 times in a row there and I was
It's
wrong.
all right. It's all right. I've been corrected.
Your
more than that
hesitancy
before
caused
I
me
left the house.
Superiority. I thought I knew what I was talking about.
So you come up on the 1-year anniversary. Over the course, Janet and Lee, over the course of this year, several shows, what are some of the stories that have really, really stuck out to you and really either had you laughing or really touched your heart?
I'll start with one that just remains with me very powerfully. So this young man, I think I will say his first name since he got up in front of an audience. His name was Matt, and he got up before the audience and admitted that it was one of the most difficult things he'd ever done in his entire life. He is an introvert. He prefers being alone, solitary, and he talked about an encounter with a mountain lion after moving to Prescott and questioning everything he did. And when he encountered that mountain lion, he let out a roar. He told us about the roar, but then Matt, who was this shy guy, let out a roar that just rocked that place. I mean, the room literally shook. And it was so amazing to see somebody that was so far out of their comfort zone to perform and share something so deep and so personal.
Nice, very nice. What I've enjoyed attending these shows is seeing from the first show and the second show audience members who are then inspired to pursue reaching out to you guys to try and tell their own story and then come to a later show and tell it. Now, you're not leaving them to their own, because you also work with storytellers to get them ready to prepare a show, a performance to be presented in front of a live audience. We want to talk a little bit about that preparation, some of the workshops you are involved with, and then we're going to come back and talk with Barry, because I want to know about some of the interviews that you've done for Prescott Palette that have really stuck in your minds, maybe some surprises, because as was mentioned, Lee, you mentioned it, in our area, in the Prescott area, in this part of Yavapai County, we have such a vast variety of people from various backgrounds. When we start finding out about their backgrounds, it's very surprising to know the accomplishments and some of the challenges that some of our friends and neighbors have gone through. Because just like in this room, we have people from all over the country in our area, and to see where they came from, what their story is, what brought them here is really, really fascinating. And we're going to come back in just a couple of moments with a winner on the phone, but we're going to hear about that after these messages. We are back on KYCA News Talk Radio. Now, during that break, we heard from our very own John Rust, and we want to remind you to tune into KYCA tonight for Prescott Badger football. The number 7 ranked Badgers host Coconino. John Rust and Kelly Cordes will call the action on 1490 AM and 103.5 FM. Don't forget the .5. That's very important. You can also stream it at kyca.info and live streamed on the KYCA Facebook page, just like we are right now. Anybody watching that?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me take a look. We
Ma?
usually have about 5 people. Yeah, we got 3 right now.
And Steve Stockmar from down in the valley probably watching.
Yeah, he always watches.
Yeah, well, but he's got to watch from a distance. Is that
Smart.
Because we look
he's-
better.
Well, no,
Yeah.
he's still got that 500-yard restraining order on you, right?
From me, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Just checking. Thank you, Steve, for
we
watching
used to
from
be
far
friends.
away. There's a lot of that list.
Yeah,
that
I
used
got
to
a long
be,
list, yeah.
of the used to be's. Barry.
Hey, what about Janet, who won the tickets?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
jeez.
I
I
got
ate
to-
M&M's
Barry.
for her.
You ate. Janet is our winner. Janet from Prescott. She's going to come into the KYCA studio and pick up her tickets to see Ron Morey, Matt Santos, Brian Kahatsu, J.C. Anderson might be there. Oh, and other local comic by way of San Diego, new to our area, Miss Kim Jones will be on the show as well. She is a comic out of San Diego who recently relocated to Prescott Valley. And she will have a spot on that show as well. So, Janet, we hope you enjoy the evening. Hey, you know what? Let's see if we can get. Go ahead, Lee. Tell the folks what you have in front of you for tickets, right?
Yes. In fact, I just changed the way we're going to do this. The first couple that comes to the event and says they heard about us on Leza Live. Leza Live. Did I say that right?
Better not say Lisa. You put
Leza.
Yeah, I'll have to get the
Lisa
jar.
Leza
Have to get the
Live.
jar
I
out.
have to say it
Get
right.
the jar.
The first couple that comes in and says that, they get in free.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, I wonder if Lisa's going to pronounce her name differently when she gets back from Italy.
Well, did she go to Spain? Or just
That's- I don't
She's
know.
in
No,
Italy.
it's Italy.
Because I was going to say,
Mediterranean.
wouldn't she pronounce it Letha? Is that-
Like a Lithba?
Barcelona?
Barcelona?
Yeah, I learned that in my trip to Paulden.
I could have slept in today.
Barry.
I wish I would have slept in today.
What up? Are you awake? Are you awake yet? What are you
did,
talking
yeah.
about? Yeah.
Barry, how long have you been doing Prescott Pallet?
Since I think it's July of 2020, maybe.
Nice. So
I think it's been like about 3.5 years.
how did you start that? What was the impetus?
It
for
was
that?
the weirdest thing. On my part, nothing. Actually, Tim Wiederander called me, the editor of the Courier, and he had we're friends on Facebook. And
T-weeds.
and he saw some of the things I was posting on Facebook and some of my
And said, stop it immediately.
diatribes, yes, diatribes, whatever. And just asked me, I don't think only because of that, but he asked me if I'd be interested in writing a column.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, I don't want to talk about food. I said, I don't want to talk about it. It's just boring. I do it all the time. I don't want to do that. He said, no, I want to talk about people in the community. I want to talk about nonprofits, blah, blah, blah. So I wrote my first piece, which was on social media, and did that. And then the next week I turned in another one. The next week I turned in another one. He goes, how long are you going to keep doing this? I said, well, I don't know. I didn't realize. I just figured until you told me to stop.
Yeah.
And so like 3.5. So yeah, so I'm like, I don't know, 52 weeks a year, 200 and some columns, something like that.
So in your travels with pen and paper, anybody that sticks out? So maybe a surprise that.
Well, you know what you said earlier is really what I do. Primarily, it's like I don't write about events so much. I
Uh-huh.
write about the people behind events and
Yeah.
the people behind nonprofits and the people about really, and like you said earlier, the stories of people is really the fascinating part of it. And that's why the column for me works, because I get to sit with people and learn about them. And, you know, I spend a lot of my time in my career talking about, hey, how's your steak? You know, would you
Yeah.
like another glass of wine? You know, that type of thing. And so this is kind of a way for me to connect with people and kind of learn and share their stories. And, you know, Prescott in the area is just filled with fascinating people.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of like this melting pot. You know, we have the people that have been here forever. And then it's really broken up into generations, which we can talk about when you come back on your break.
Oh,
Because you're getting a sign.
are we getting another sign?
You're getting a sign.
There's my sign.
There's
we'll
your
be
sign.
right back in a moment on KYCA News Talk Radio. back on the news. KYCA News Talk Radio, 1490 AM and 103. Don't forget the 5 FM. Barry, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Had a lot of fun. Janet, I wanted, we've kind of, you're sitting next to Steven, so we've kind of had the silence in that area, and I apologize for that. You, in your travels, you have become involved with the, correct me if I'm wrong, the Arizona Mystery Writers?
Yes.
What is that? What's the official title?
Arizona Mystery Writers is right.
Out of Tucson, they're based.
Yes.
Now, mysteries are my favorite form of novels to read. I absolutely love them. How did you get involved with that group?
I like to support local, and even, that's kind of local for a mystery writers group. So I saw it on Facebook, and I became their chairman for their youth short story contest, which I did for 3 years. It was wonderful.
Who are some of your favorite mystery writers? And if you have some favorite Arizona-based, that would even be better.
Yes. Gosh.
One of my favorites is John Talton. He is really good. Used to be based out of Phoenix, wrote for the Republic for a while. Now he's in the Pacific Northwest. But he's done some great mystery books, current and some historical ones from early 1900s that are just fascinating. I really love them. And then hearing, he's writing about areas you can actually go, I can go into Phoenix and see the streets he's talking about and stuff.
Yep.
That's a lot of fun.
Well, my brain is blank at the moment, but there are a lot of very good mystery writers in Arizona, and a number of them are on the board for the Arizona Mystery Writers. They are a kind of a small, it's a state group, so it's kind of small, but they do a Zoom, and on the second Saturday of every month they invite different people related to mysteries. So this past one we had 2 judges from the Tucson area. It was a fascinating presentation. I like mystery too, and I'm finishing the third of 3 mystery novels, so I just love this stuff.
Very nice. Now, Lee, you had talked about one of the storytellers for Stories That Matter AZ, the true storytelling show. That the next one's coming up November 29th, Friday night at the Elks. But in the AZ Wordsmiths, which is a mix of fiction, nonfiction, what are some? Do you have any that stick in your mind that really caught your ear when you've maybe been surprised or?
There have been many. Now let me think. Yours. Your story about the dog, I think everybody must know, but I was relatively new. I'd never met you before, and was quite impressed when you got up there, and I didn't know. The cool thing is you don't know what to expect. We judge people. We think we don't, so we don't.
Don't judge me.
I did. Okay.
Hold on. She used your name and impressed in the same sentence.
I did because
wow.
He got up there
Great
and
story.
told a story that had the whole place really laughing. And you're a beautiful storyteller. You're going to be a storyteller that on Friday, the 29th. And so honestly, that burying the dog story of yours really sticks out.
Yeah, my wife really hates when I tell that story. 100% true story. Anyway, it's well, if you want to hear it, you can go to I don't know, go to pretty much any time I grab a microphone on stage, I tell it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Don't we have it on our YouTube channel yet?
No, that one I
No.
didn't tell. It's Stories That Matter.
Oh no, that's right.
I
Wow.
did tell. This was one that was a lot of fun, with a little bit of a comedic twist. I did tell the story about when my son was born.
Yes.
That was a very eventful day. A lot of things leading up to that. If for those listening that know me, my wife and I had our son when we were a little older than the usual first-time parents, mid-40s, for my first and only child. and there were a lot of things that led up to his birth that were some traumatic, some very surprising. Anyway, it's a long story, but my son had never heard that story before, and he happened to be in the room that day.
Now, how old is your son at this
He's
time?
15. Well, he was 14 when I told him.
Okay,
Just turned
okay.
15.
Okay.
Never heard the story. Anyway, I believe it is on the YouTube channel. Stories That Matter AZ on YouTube. But he had never heard that story, and it kind of culminates with what I didn't realize was going to be an emotional moment. But when I was telling it, I started getting a little choked up, and he was a little surprised. Like I said, he had never heard what myself and his mother had gone through leading up to his birth, and it could have been very traumatic, but it obviously turned out very nice.
Can I piggyback on that?
Sure.
You just pointed out something about these stories. So the stories that we tell at Stories That Matter, they're not necessarily earth-shattering in terms of they don't have to be huge, but you're different at the end of the story than when you started out. Something happened to you. Maybe you changed your mind about something that you had a hard opinion on. Somehow there's a shift that happens. It's not just anecdotal.
One of my favorites that you can watch, and his name is escaping me right now, but it doesn't matter. Go on and watch them all. Was a very simple story about a gentleman who was walking to and from dinner. And that's what I will leave it at. But Stories That Matter AZ on YouTube, and this gentleman walking to dinner, having dinner, and walking back from dinner. Probably not appropriate to tell on the radio, so you could watch it at Stories That Matter AZ on YouTube and have more than your share of laughs. We'll be right back on KYCA News Talk Radio after this message. We are back on KYCA News Talk Radio. Drew, weather update.
It's sunny.
Thank you. Just checking. Janet and Lee, one thing that we forgot to mention, I brought it up and then forgot to get back to it because that's how my brain works. These storytellers for Stories That Matter AZ it's not necessarily just come in and tell your story. You help folks work through their story, kind of touch on storytelling tips and some structure to it. How's that done?
We have storytelling workshops, and we promote them not just for our show. If you're a good storyteller, you're going to be more successful in life. If you want your employees to do something, you can do better by telling them a story. So our whole idea is get good at storytelling. And so we have a workshop, and it's a 3-hour-long workshop. We talk about storytelling basics. We give everybody a chance in the workshop to stand up before a mic and tell a story. And often from those workshops, we get people that are interested in getting on stage and telling it before a live audience.
So this is a chance for folks to just come in and experiment with it, work on some structure, and then above all, that confidence you can get, again, it will transfer into every aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
And then if they want to tell a story, what's their opportunity at the live shows?
So when you check in at the door to come into the Stories That Matter, you get an opportunity to fill out a card to be a wild card for the that night's show.
So it's kind of a spur of the moment. Come in, and they're a little shorter than the normal allotted time. They're about 5-ish,
Yes.
6 minutes or so.
Yep, short.
And but it's a lot of fun because you get folks who weren't necessarily prepared. So when they're speaking off the cuff a little bit, it's kind of a crapshoot. Anything goes, and it's a lot of fun.
Right. We're not in control of those guys.
So
And so far, so good.
Barry, coming up for Prescott Pallet, what do we got in the
I
hopper?
don't know. I don't. You know, it's I never. This is how it works. Literally,
real.
I would say probably 92% of my columns are. I see you the day I see you.
Gotcha.
On Mondays, hey, we're talking about the story. Are you involved in something? We're meeting in the street or meeting at the restaurant. What are you doing tomorrow? I need half an hour. And we sit down for half an hour. And then I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning Wednesday and write it, and then I send it off, and that's it. That's it. It's always stuff. I don't know what I'm writing about this week. I have no idea.
Oh, that's
so I don't have any
fascinating.
idea what it
That's
is. It's just
And-
something that comes across. I'm like, that's really kind of cool. That's a great story.
And again, with all the different people from different backgrounds
Oh.
involved in different things, it keeps it really fresh that
Oh,
way.
yeah.
That's
This-
very
yeah.
nice. So, oh my goodness, Janet. Just
That was
breaking
Steven. I think it
things.
was Steven, actually.
I think it's-
Steven woke up over there. And
I felt it slowly slipping.
She just dropped the mic. Literally.
Literally.
Dropped the mic. Oh, my goodness. Well, we want to, again, thank everybody for coming in. Barry, oh, God, it was 20 years. You opened up
20 years.
just a couple of months after my wife and I moved to this
Oh,
area.
right.
We came here in September of '04,
There you go.
and I remember when it opened.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful place there. The patio out there is great, as well as Torme.
Yeah, thank you. And they're both enclosed right now, so they're nice and warm.
Very
yeah,
nice.
so we're ready for winter.
So stop in, some of the greatest food in the area.
What do you mean some of?
Well, because there are so many great restaurants, including the folks I met last time I was here, Salt and Pepper.
Oh, I love those
Oh,
guys.
yeah, they're good.
There are so many great restaurants around here.
Yeah,
Get
we're
out
blessed.
and
We're lucky.
explore. Get out and explore. And then, of course, every Thursday in the Daily Courier, the Prescott Pallet. Stories That Matter AZ, Friday the 29th at the Elks up on the 3rd floor. The Crystal Ball Hall.
Hall.
The Crystal Ball Hall. Liz Rogers is throwing things at the radio as we speak. And then the second Wednesday of every month.
Month except January.
Upstairs for airs the AZ Wordsmith open mic reading workshop. And then come see me November 8th at the Prescott Valley Performing Arts adjacent to the Findlay Toyota Center. Ron Mori, Brian Katsu, and myself. Hey, thanks for tuning in, folks. Leza will be back on Monday, and we will look forward to hearing her back on the radio. Drew, real quick, 10 seconds, weather update.
Sunny, breezy, wonderful.
So wear a hat if you don't want your hair messed up, Drew.
I have that same problem as you do.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. My name is Matt Santos. We always appreciate getting in here and talking at you. Thanks for tuning in.